Hi guys, it's Mandy from Mandyleeplays, and we need to talk. I'm in my all black. That means we are mourning. Mourning for what? Well, the demise of the gaming industry. Because these last few weeks have been crazy work. I honestly didn't even think it would get this bad, but here we are. And I'm just worried that things will just collapse. But let me not get ahead of myself. It's been bad news on top of bad news with the side of bad news. Don't get me wrong, there have been great things for gaming, but it really pales into comparison with all the bad news that we've been receiving lately. Before we dive in, please hit that like button if you end up liking the video, would appreciate it, and consider subscribing if you're not yet subscribed. So enough of all that, let's get into the video. First, I want to talk about the most obvious, and that is gaming is getting really expensive. I mean, everything's getting expensive, not gonna lie, but gaming has been hit hard. I've mentioned this in my previous rant videos about the gaming industry, but I just want to highlight how bad it's gotten since the last video. And who do we have to thank for this? Well, AI. And since these companies have no interest in absorbing these extra costs, they would rather just pass the entire bill directly to the consumers. So starting August 1st, the Xbox console prices are increasing. The Xbox Series X 512GB units are jumping at another $100, and the 1TB model is increasing $150. And they just outright killed the 2TB model, so rest in peace to that one. Now, if you do the math, this puts the Xbox Series S at $500 and the discless Series X at $750. And the disc version is a whopping $800. The irony is honestly so painful, especially since their own parent company is the reason why AI has become this way. So thank you, Satya Nadella. You are really making us feel the squeeze. I do have an Xbox Series S. I got it way before all this shenanigans started. It was like $3.99 or something. But lately, I'm not really loving the Xbox and the Xbox brand. And then there are some news that Game Pass won't be receiving third-party games. Which, what? That's the whole point of the freaking Game Pass. They're gonna have like 5 games if it's just first party. Things are not looking good in the Xbox front. But let's be honest, they kind of did it to themselves. But that's not even the point. This really highlights how screwed we are. And the weird thing is, some people are defending this. Like, why? There is this whole psychology with fanboys that needs to be studied. But yeah, there are people who are defending this, saying, well, it's because of AI, but guess who started the whole AI? These tech companies. So I know companies are companies, they need to make money, but some of these companies should eat the cost. I feel like they know not a lot of people are buying Xboxes, so they're pricing it up for the people who actually want an Xbox, but they damn well know they're not going to get a lot of sales. Now, I will give credit where credit is due. Nintendo has been good when it comes to price increases, which that sentence is really wild, but they increased their prices by like $50, which is still a price increase, mind you, but it's not as egregious as the other consoles. And that perfectly takes us to Steam. Steam has been known as a consumer-friendly platform for the longest time. And there are things that make it very consumer-friendly, like not having to pay online and having a lot of sales for the games. But when it comes to their devices, they're as bad, if not even worse, than the consoles. So the Steam Machine, which is a little cube starter PC that lets you play Steam OS for your games. So it's basically like a console for your PC. So a lot of people knew that this thing was going to be a lot of money, but I don't think anybody realized how much money it was. I've heard price points from $600 to $750 to $800, but then they released the price for it. So the Steam Machine is debuting at a staggering $1,049 without the freaking controller. If you want to add a controller, the price comes out at $1,128. And if you ask me, I think that the Steam Machine is not worth it. Why? Well, because the specs that it has, especially when looking at Digital Foundry's benchmarks, where they are running new titles at 30 FPS on low settings. Just yikes. A lot of people say it's not as strong as a PS5 or PS5 Pro. I don't really know if that's true, but if this machine is so expensive, it should run better than a PlayStation 5. And honestly speaking, just build your own PC at that point. The Steam Machine was honestly a great idea to get more newcomers to the PC fan base, but not at that price. Like, y'all crazy. And And at the rate this is going, I wouldn't be shocked if the PlayStation had a second price increase, and same for the Switch too. It's so wild that everything is just going up in price, but nobody's really fixing the problem. But instead, they're just like, well, here comes another price increase. Like it's normal. Can we stop normalizing price increases? The beauty of tech is that if you wait long enough, that tech will become cheaper. That's how tech goes. But in this day and age, everything is just opposite. And look here, I'm not saying I know the answers to everything. Obviously I don't. I would have fixed the problem by now. But I feel that the price increases and the speed of the price increases too is getting me really worried, because if the cost of consoles go up, a lot of people are just not gonna buy it, or they're just gonna stick to one console or one platform. That's just the reality of it. There's only so much the consumer could take before they're like, yeah, I can't afford this anymore. I know there's a lot of rumors and stuff about the future PlayStation 6, which I don't even want to think about for the next 5 years, but people have been saying that that console is looking to be over $1,000. And I shudder to think how the gaming industry is gonna survive this. But I guess the silver lining in this is that the AI bubble is bound to burst. I don't think things are gonna get automatically better when that happens, but that is a step in the right direction. Hi guys, this is Editing Mandy, and we have some truly sad news. So while I was editing this video, Sony went ahead and just axed physical gaming as a whole starting January 2028. They're killing off all of their physical games, so even their first party games don't get a physical edition. This is just crazy because we've been going through bad news on top of bad news, and these people cannot give us a break. Anyways though, Sony's excuse for this is because of shifting customer preferences, which is BS and the most out of touch excuses I've seen so far. Their statement is basically PR talk of it's too expensive to do physical, so we're just gonna not do it. But hey guys, this is what you wanted. Says who? I don't know. And I can't believe I'm living in an age where game keycards might not be that bad. And for the record, this is not me condoning keycards. Xbox is definitely following suit. Actually, they pretty much started this whole digital revolution. And I'm just so frustrated and so angry because I want to just go and buy my stuff. I don't want to go buy my stuff in a storefront that I don't want to, and I can't even give it to a friend or trade it in. There's restrictions, and they could do some shadow magic to the game to change it as a whole via the internet. There's a reason why a lot of people like physical games, and there's a reason why companies don't like it. Can you guess what it is? Well, I'll tell you. They don't like physical games because they have no control over it. Sometimes they do via the internet, but you could play the game off the internet. You bought it, here's your product. And as of now, I'm not even thinking of getting a PlayStation 6. Now it's gonna be over $1,000 with just digital games. It boggles my mind. I'm just gonna try to do everything I can to make the best PC and just be a PC gamer, honestly. I hope that Sony reconsiders this. It's gonna take into effect in 2028, so they have time. So yeah, I hope that they walk back on this. Anyways, this is probably the longest editing Mandy session, but this literally just came up today and I just had to say something about it. Alrighty, now let's get back to the video. So on top of hardware becoming unaffordable, we need to talk about software that's becoming unaffordable. And that takes us to the $80 games. We are living in the worst timeline because not one, not two, but 3 $80 games have been cited. Recently, Rockstar has unveiled the price for GTA 6. And yeah, they're pretty expensive. So the base game is $80 and the true game, because honestly it's the true game, is $100. And get this, I'm not pulling your leg. You could get a physical of this game, but it's not physical because when you open it, it's a code in the box. You are paying premium dollars for a code in the box. And Rockstar knows damn well they could get away with it because the real Grand Theft Auto is all the money they're taking from its consumers. This game isn't the first game to be $80. Nintendo has introduced $80 games since the Switch 2 came out when they put that price tag on Mario Kart World. And then recently we are getting Fire Emblem Futures Weave for $80. I mean, at least you get a physical at that point. My whole thing with $80 games is what constitutes a $80 game? Is it the quality? Is it how long it is? The replayability? Or are they just doing it for the laughs? I don't really know what makes a game an $80 game. Because look at it this way. We have Mario Kart World, Grand Theft Auto 6, 6 and Fire Emblem's Fortune's Weave. These games have really nothing in common, so why are they $80? We've just entered the realm of $70 games. To put this in perspective, $60 games were the norm for so many years. Like, that's how I grew up playing games. $60 was the top tier. But now we have $70 and now $80. Things are getting really crazy really fast. So I am firmly in the camp that no game, whether it be Mario Kart, GTA 6, or Fire Emblem, is worth $80. Now, to be fair, Fire Emblem you could get $10 cheaper if you get it digitally. With Mario Kart, it was bundled in with some of the Switch 2s. GTA, on the other hand, is like $80 is the cheap version of the game. The real game is $100. And don't even get me started on games that launch without some of the content. Like GTA 6, when it first launches, is not gonna have the online aspect to it. That's coming later down the line. And it's weird that Rockstar even has an option to play a base game that doesn't even have the features of the $100 game, which is not extra costumes and cosmetics. You are literally missing out on features of the full game. Like, Jesus, just say that the game is $100 and leave it at that. And I just hate this because everyone's saying, well, they know they could get away with it, which is true. So think about it. With this much cultural pull and influence in the industry, how is that going to affect other games? Methinks that it's probably going to set a precedence. So only time will tell how this pans out. But hey, where do we go from here? If you want my honest opinions, put your money behind indies, AA games, or games that are actually trying. Also, take care of the console that you do have now, because yeah, things are probably going to get more expensive. Don't make your whole personality defending everything PlayStation has, Nintendo, or Xbox. I feel like console wars are pretty useless at this point. Really embrace games that are full on the cart or full on the disc. Only time will tell where this industry goes from here. It's really hard to be positive, but I do hope that things will get better. So with all that being said, I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit that like button, and if you like my content and would love to see more, then consider subscribing. Would appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, play a good game. Peace, peace.